Hello, friends! Welcome back to Coffee and Grace, where everyone loves coffee and everyone needs God's grace. Today we are in day number 20 of our 25 days of Advent, and today's reading is The Strains of Christmas by John Upchurch. Christmas at my house meant preparing for the worst. The worst didn't always come, but you couldn't be too careful. You see, the thing about holidays is that people tend to be together, pushed into the same room by tradition and baked turkey. My family spent most of the year avoiding such things, as we hurried off to school or work, buried ourselves in music and books, and generally enjoyed the comfort of a closed door. We could usually navigate Thanksgiving because it only meant a day together before we scattered again. But while we chewed stuffing, my father would chew on his disappointment over his life and his family. My older brothers would try not to notice. The tryptophan made us all too sleepy for much more. At least, that's what I like to think. But then Christmas came lumbering into the Upchurch household with all its vacation days. We had too much time off and too many unspoken issues. We were like a pot of boiling potatoes with the water sloshing out of the stove. There'd be some sizzling over a lack of job, a splash or two over how much something cost, and then, boom, the lid blew off. An hour or two new holes in the wall later, we surveyed the wreckage of the Yuletide cheer. My brothers would fume back into the basement, my father would escape to his computer, and my mom would try to figure out what to do. Usually the anger just sunk back into the pot for another year. When I moved out of my house, it took years for Christmas to reclaim its festive atmosphere. Even when the war ended, the shell shock didn't. There were too many things unsaid, too many things not dealt with. The embers of home-fought battles wouldn't die down. Then Christ. Describing salvation couldn't be better summed up than in those two words, set apart in their own paragraph. Then Christ. There was no choir of angels singing or a special star shining light down on my apartment, but it was a moment that clearly separates time into two epochs. That separation is for both BC, AD, and OJ, NJ, Old John and New John. As this new John, though I noticed something that might as well have been as miraculous as angels breaking out the tunes over my head, when Christmas came, the dread didn't. I had plucked the Christ off Christmas, and the Mass didn't seem so heavy. In fact, I even looked forward to it. No, the tension didn't suddenly melt away. The tempers weren't all snuffed out. There were still moments that stretched tightly across our gatherings, but I now knew something just slightly flipped the world upside down, mind-blowingly awesome. A baby, born poor and away from home, had taken the worst this world had to offer. A king wanted him dead, and his country had no place for him, but still he came for me and for you. And that is it for day number 20. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will be back tomorrow with day number 21 of our 25 days of Advent. Until then, God bless.